So I just did a video which I'm going to be taking down because apparently I missed the mark. I missed the mark so incredibly bad, there are people literally in the comment section arguing against firearm safety. So, yeah, I don't want people going in the comment section and think that firearm safety is not a big deal and they can just break firearm safety rules whenever they feel the need to enhance their training to a more realistic level. I had asked a couple of people, why did I fail so bad in this video? Why are people just totally commenting about something completely irrelevant to the topic and then arguing against firearm safety? Like, this should be a safe video. I should be able to put out a video like this and not have to worry about hitting the mark or anything like that, because who's going to argue against firearm safety? And they said it was because I didn't get to the point quick enough, and they made assumptions about the video that it was about something that it was not. Therefore, they started arguing on a topic that had nothing to do with your video. So, let's fix the video. In a nutshell, what this video is going to be about is, 1, should you decide to practice tap, rack, bang, you should use a snap cap. Do it in a controlled environment that is 100% safe. Number 2, the idea of this video is to stop what I myself have seen just a stupid amount of times. So I'll run into this guy at the range and he'll want to show me his firearm. He'll rack it a whole bunch of times, lock the slide open, put his finger in the chamber, confirm that it's empty, close the slide, hand it to me, ask me to open the frame up, or open the chamber up, put my finger in there, confirm that it's not loaded, and then also ask me to recite the firearm safety rules. Not a big deal there. So then we'll be shooting, he'll pull the trigger at some point, get a click, no bang, and it'll be like, click, bang! I'm like, you just went on this whole spiel on how firearms need to be treated with respect and handled in a safe manner, and now I have just personally watched you get a click, no bang, eject a live cartridge on the ground that has a dimple on the primer that could go off at any point in time, load a new cartridge into the chamber, and fire the weapon without verifying that the chamber is clear when you know for a fact, a literal fact, that a problem has just occurred. You didn't diagnose it at all. So that's what this video is about. To stop those tactical tools from trying to look high speed, low drag in front of people. Now, I also say in the video, if your life is on the line here, whatever. Firearm safety rules go right out the window because you're literally trying to cause damage to someone. Like, you are flagging them with a firearm, pulling the trigger aimed at them. Who really cares? Do what you gotta do to survive. However, in a range setting, performing tap, rack, bang on live ammunition in a real malfunction scenario is just stupid. Why would you do that? Should you be at a range, basically, should you be anywhere where your life is not in danger, and you pull the trigger, and it goes click, there's no bang, you need to stop. Take a breath, examine and determine exactly what the problem is, diagnose the problem, fix the problem. Do not. Now, it's different if you put snap caps in your magazine. If you put a snap cap in the magazine and you know at some point your firearm is going to have a malfunction, and you're 99.99% sure it's the snap cap, by all means, tap, rack, bang. Because you're just building muscle memory. That is a safe training technique. Should you be firing real ammunition, and you did not put a snap cap in the magazine, and you just had a malfunction, and you have no idea what's causing that malfunction, stop. Diagnose the malfunction, handle it accordingly. And that's what the video is about. And yet, I'm getting basically two different versions of the same two comments. One, this person has dash cam footage of something like that with tap, rack, bang saving their life. What the hell does that have to do with my video? It has nothing to do within a gunfight situation, tap, rack, bang. It has to do with performing that training maneuver with live ammunition, with a real malfunction, on a range or in some sort of scenario where your life is not in danger. The other one I'm getting, repeatedly, you made this video because of your lack of experience with firearms. My lack of experience is so lacking let's pretend that's true. Let's pretend I am completely inexperienced with firearms, but yet I have still been around them enough to watch more than one gun get destroyed by the tap, rack, bang maneuver, and more than several people that should be more than competent with firearms perform that maneuver on live ammunition with a real malfunction around other people. What does that say? That says there is a complete failure of firearm safety when it comes to that particular maneuver. It is either not being taught correctly in how to perform it safely, or people assume that yes, firearm safety rules are great, but those go right the hell out of the window if your firearm has a malfunction. Throw all firearm safeties out the window because you need to look tactical, you need to be a tactical tool, and look high speed, low drag in front of people, and just toss the safety rules right out the window. They will hammer safety rules all day long, with one exception. If you get a malfunction of your firearm, forget about safe firearm handling. Clear the malfunction as quickly as you possibly can. Make your firearm discharge and say, America, look at how quick I did that. So, let's get into the video, and hopefully, because this is actually the third time I've done this video, all 3 times have been a failure, and I can't figure out why. Like, I'm literally preaching firearm safety, and there are people getting upset about that, saying it's stupid, and do not listen to me, perform the tap, rack, bang, throw firearm safety out the window. So, let's upload this one, see how it goes. I mean, it's possible the last one, because I was on point with that. Like, I went through every scenario. So it's possible maybe people were just angry about that video because they were angry about the Russian ammo ban. So, let's play the video now that you understand what it's about. So what are the possible problems with a firearm, why it will not fire? Number 1, the firearm is out of battery. And yes, the tap, rack, bang would most definitely fix that problem. Number 2, failure to feed. Or you just forgot to load a round. Either one. The point is, there's not a round in the chamber. Yes, tap, rack, bang would also fix that problem. Number 4, light primer strike. Now that's debatable whether or not a tap, rack, bang would fix that problem. Because if you got a light primer strike, it could be because you have oil in your firing pin. Like you were cleaning your gun, you got oil where the firing pin goes, it hydrolocked the firing pin, did not set it off, or for whatever reason that firing pin does not have enough striking power to set off that particular type of ammunition. It may or it may not fix that problem. Where am I? Number 5, you get a hang fire. What that is a problem with the primer. The primer, when the firing pin hits it, it just barely starts to smolder. It'll do that for a couple of seconds, then the primer will ignite, pressurize the casing, boom, set off the firing arm. Set off the cartridge, sorry. No, that would be absolutely terrible to do a tap, rack, bang on. Just a couple examples to put it into perspective. You have a hang fire, so you pull the trigger, click, you hit the magazine, you rack it out, the cartridge ejects, and it detonates right by your face and you lose an eyeball. Now I get, you should always wear safety glasses, but what if it's right here and it goes in and it reflects off the safety glasses and then comes in your eye? There's no guarantee. Yeah, you could turn your firearm down and throw it at the ground, but then what if you're at a public range and somebody's little 5-year-old or 10-year-old or whatever the age is likes to collect casings, and that cartridge rolls down there and then they walk over like, oh, here's a casing, and they pick it up, they're like, hey mom, this one's still, boom, and blows up in their face. The safe scenario to ensure you don't get a hang fire, pull the trigger, click, and you keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction and you wait for a second. Probably like 2 or 3 seconds. I don't know. It's up to you how long you want to wait. But then you wait and you're like, okay, so it didn't go off. Now I can clear that round out. Or if you have a second strike capable firearm, pull the trigger, click, well, you pull the trigger again. Usually that's enough to set off a hang fire. Sometimes it don't, but that also is just in there. It's kind of like the cure is for not being drunk. The only cure is time. That gives you time to give the cartridge a chance to fire. Or, for example, you get a hang fire, you go like this to go tap it while your muzzle's pointed up at the ceiling, boom, the firearm goes off, you damage the shooting range. Definitely, tap rack bang is going to get you hurt there, or, get you to pucker up because you could have gotten hurt. Next scenario, squib. Now that is a problem with the powder, not the primer. Alright, so what the primer is going to do is it needs to put the powder under pressure for it to ignite. Like if I pour powder out here on this table and I set it off, it's going to just slowly smolder and kind of sputter and just burn down the line. Put that same exact amount of powder right here on the table and I pressurize this building, I touch that powder off, it'll instantly flash explode. So the firing pin comes, hits your primer, it puts the casing under pressure, and it also ignites the powder. Because the powder's under pressure, it flash ignites, sets the projectile down the range. Well, if you have a problem with the powder, like whatever, I don't know, maybe you got a little crazy with cleaning your gun, and you got solvent or oil on your cartridges, but it didn't get all the way to the primer, but it did make the powder inert. The primer will hit, it'll pressurize that casing because the powder doesn't ignite. Well, then the projectile will move down the barrel a little bit, not far enough to get it out of the barrel, but it'll move it down the barrel a little bit. So then you'll pull the trigger, click. If you're slow and you're paying attention, you'll hear that it sounded a little funny. You could have sworn you heard like a little pop. Eject it out, in goes a new cartridge, boom, your gun explodes. Because you have your one projectile here, you send another projectile down. As that projectile is going towards the other projectile, it builds just a crap ton of pressure inside the barrel. It'll split your barrel apart, blow the slide off, completely destroy your firearm. That is another scenario where tap rack bang will damage your firearm and or get you hurt.
No. Bad primer. Bad primer.
Jesus, Scott, you don't know how to load these.
No. Dude, I didn't load these. Brian did. Whoa!
Alright, failure to extract. You have either a broken extractor or for whatever reason the whole entire cartridge stays inside the firearm. So it goes off, it doesn't eject. Now if you have a locking block system firearm, a lot of times that's enough to kick the slide back, grab another projectile and put it in. So you do a tap rack bang, doesn't fix the problem. You can tap rack bang that all day long. There's nothing that's going to fix that except for taking something and prying the casing and or non-fired cartridge out of your barrel so another one can go in. So another scenario where tap rack bang just isn't going to work. Stovepipe. That's where the one cartridge goes off, it doesn't quite eject it all the way, or it comes up and it lands back in the action as it's feeding another one in, so there's another one about to go in and the empty casing prevents the slide from closing. That is a scenario where tap rack bang would fix the problem. Shit is just broken. Firing pin's broken, the gun just malfunctions. And there's nothing wrong with the ammunition, the gun is just broken. You can tap rack bang that all day long, not going to fix the problem. Cartridge is a dud. The primer is completely non-useful. Maybe you were cleaning your gun and you got oil and it went around the primer and it made the compound inside of it soaked in oil. It will not fire. Cartridge is a dud. That is a scenario where tap rack bang is ideal and it will fix it. Because you got to remember, we're talking about firearms. So 99.99999 repeating percent of the time, a firearm is going to be at a shooting range. It is not going to be in a defensive scenario. It is not going to be on the battlefield of Call of Duty. It is just you shooting at the range. So 99.9% repeating of the time, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to do tap rack bangs. Now, it does make sense on, like, the battlefield. You have other troops around you. A problem happens. You need just to get your weapon back into the fight. Yeah, I get that. That totally makes sense. And you might be like, well, what about a self-defense scenario? Like, I want to practice tap, rack, bang all the time. So, in a self-defense scenario, I'm going to be in real life how I train. And because I train tap, rack, bang all the time, I'm going to be able to do a tap, rack, bang in a self-defense scenario and get myself back into action. What is the average distance? 7 yards? The attacker is 7 yards away from you, and you're telling me that you are convinced at 7 yards, and he's presented himself as a deadly threat. Like, it's clear, because you don't pull your firearm because somebody uses harsh language or they spit on you. You pull your firearm because you have decided in your head the only thing that is going to stop this guy is deadly force. For whatever reason, that's what you decided. So at 7 yards, you're telling me you have enough time to go click and then go back on there? No, that's just not realistic. That's not going to happen. If you pull your trigger and it goes click, you need to get ready to start using this as a melee weapon. There's no time for that. Especially if he's charging you. I mean, you literally pulled your gun, so he or she, sorry, I'm being a little sexist, he or she has presented themselves to where you feel you or someone around you is in imminent danger. So, is the tap, rack, bang maneuver obsolete? Like I said, if you're in the military and you're on a battlefield or something like that, yeah, by all means, practice the crap out of it. But if you practice it, and it happens in real life, you pull the trigger and you get a click, no bang, you need to stop, determine what the problem is, and resolve the problem. Now, if you're practicing it and you get a click and no bang because you put a snap cap in the magazine and you know there's a snap cap in the magazine, basically a dummy round for those that don't know, yeah, tap, rack, bang it. Because you know you've induced it. You've intentionally made it to run into a situation where you have to do a tap, rack, bang. Even at a military training course, you pull the trigger, you get a click, and no bang. And there's not a snap cap in there, and you don't know why you got a click and no bang. You need to investigate the problem. What's going on? Why did I get a click and no bang? Obviously, if you put a snap cap in there, you already know the answer, in which case you can just skip that process and go right into your little tap, rack, bang. That makes sense. So, out of the 9 different scenarios I could think of, and there may be more. I'm not perfect. I'm not a robot. I'm just human. We're all human here, right? Right? We can make mistakes. So let's pretend I forgot some, or you know what? Let's pretend I didn't forget some. So there may be some other scenarios out there why a firearm would get a click and no bang. These are the 9 scenarios I thought of. Out of those 9 scenarios, only 5 a tap, rack, bang would work on. That's just barely over 50%. Out of the other 4, 2 of those scenarios is going to damage you, your firearm, or possibly somebody else. So you got like what? Basically a 25% chance of causing harm to you, someone else, or your firearm, and you only got just barely over a 50% chance of that maneuver actually solving the problem. Pretend that's a 10-shot revolver, and there's 2 loaded cylinders. Are you willing to play that game? No, I'm not. I wouldn't even do it if there's 1 loaded cylinder. The point is, it is an obsolete maneuver. If you want to practice it, fine. Go ahead, get snap caps. I'll have some in the affiliate link in the description if you want to buy some. However, if you're shooting firearms with real ammunition, and you get a click, and no bang, do not tap, rack, bang that. Keep the firearm on the target for a reasonable amount of time. If it's second strike capable, drop the hammer again. If not, you're going to want to eject that, away from your face, onto the ground, after you have determined that, okay, that's not going to go off. If you can't see it from where you're standing, get close enough to make sure there's an actual projectile still on that cartridge. In that case, okay, there's a projectile still on the cartridge. My chamber is clear. I know that because I can see the projectile on that cartridge. I'm not going to pick it up. I'm going to leave it over there because it still could be a hang fire. You just never know. But then I can press on. Now, if I eject it and there is not a projectile on the cartridge, I need to disassemble my firearm and fix it. If there is a projectile, I honestly still recommend disassembling your firearm if you cannot figure out why. Or maybe firing one more, and if that one's also a dud, disassemble your firearm and try to investigate, why am I having a problem? Okay, I've determined the problem. I'm going to fix that problem. Or let's say you fire, and then you fire again, but you get a click, no bang, and you look and you see a stovepipe. Obviously, clear that out. That's the basic. What I'm trying to hammer home here is understand what caused the malfunction before you forget about it. Once you know what caused it, then you can determine the best course of action, remedy the problem, and or press on. If you don't know what caused the problem, man, I just wouldn't press on. Like, that's usually when people destroy their firearms, when something's weird, little warning bells are going off. I'm like, and I've been there. I've been at a 3-gun match. Click, this is before I determined that I should never do tap rack bang, because at that point in time, I'd watch all the technical training videos. I thought it was like an essential part to firing a handgun. At a 3-gun competition, click, no bang, rack it out, just about to drop the hammer, and the guy's like, stop! I stop, keep the firearm in a safe direction, eject my magazine, eject the live cartridge. Notice, yep, I have a projectile stuck in the barrel. If I would have set that off, I would have destroyed my handgun. Thank God that guy had a better head on his shoulders than I did. Because right there, my gun would have been done. I would have definitely destroyed the barrel, probably destroyed the slide, probably destroyed the frame, possibly caused severe damage to my hand. But he saved me. And that was the point where I'm like, whoa! Yeah, I need to reevaluate, apologize, for what the hell I'm doing here. I'm no longer practicing that maneuver. I don't see a place for it. Because when am I going to be in a scenario where I could actually use it? Self-defense? No. If I got a click and no bang, if I have a second strike, I'm going to try again. If I don't, I got to get ready to use this as a melee weapon. There's no time to hit the magazine and rack the slide out. They're already on top of me. Chances are, if I get a click and no bang, before I actually hear the click, I'm being tackled. Now, if I was in like private security or some sort of military unit, like there's the enemy, it's 200 yards away, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, hope you found this video at least entertaining if you didn't find it educational. If you'd like to help support the channel, got my Patreon. I also have affiliate links in the description down below where you can get things like those snap caps. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.